I'm with John Flint, former CEO of the HSBC Group and the National Wealth Fund. John, much of your work has been focused in the past on Asia as well as Europe. Do you feel that is where the key opportunities are in wealth management, that they're now in China and India rather than Europe?
We're at the start of a new phase of disorder. The US is on a different path. It's no longer the predictable and reliable partner that it was, and the world is adjusting. We're adjusting to a multipolar world. There's no doubt that the pace of wealth creation in Asia will outstrip that of Europe, but there's significant old money still in Europe that requires effective management and stewardship. I think we will see is increasing fragmentation, increasing successes for new wealth centres, new and emerging wealth centres. The only thing that looks certain to me right now is that the standing of the US is somewhat diminished, and that looks likely to continue.
Leaders in America and in Europe are still trying to decide how to behave with China. Should this be a friend? Should it be a foe? What kind of lessons have you learned about dealing with Chinese business and political interests?
I don't like the idea that you have to decide whether they're friend or foe. That's oversimplifying things. There will be issues on which the West will always disagree with China, but there are many more areas where we should be collaborating. China's per capita GDP is low still in relation to the West. There is no acceptable reason for the West to try and suppress China's ambitions to reach the same standards of living that we've raised. As things stand today, they are the beacon of hope for net zero. So I would encourage everybody to understand China, to lean into China, to keep an open mind. Sure, you will find things that you don't like, but that doesn't mean that you have to cast them as the enemy.
For climate change, for ESG, and for digital assets, China has been a pioneer. Do you see these types of assets as core now to investors' portfolios?
Climate change is core to everything, whether it's overtly labelled as climate change or not. ESG has got a bad brand right now, partly because the financial system used the ESG label as a means to sell products to people. So we've got a reset going there. Crypto and new technologies may have a role to play, but I would encourage everybody to be very curious and a little bit forensic, developing their understanding of each of the different crypto assets. Some have good use cases and will end up in mainstream finance. Some are speculative and shouldn't be anywhere near mainstream finance.
And leadership is crucial to devising the best business models for wealth managers and private banks. Sadly, the examples of leadership at the helms of various countries, various organizations is not the best. As a former leader of a massive group yourself, what kind of lessons have you learned about leadership?
You can learn a lot from bad leaders just as you can from good leaders. I think the key lesson for me, having practiced leaderships and studied leadership, is the need for courage. Leadership is a privilege. At times that will mean that if you wear that privilege, you will have to be prepared to put yourself in harm's way. You will have to be prepared to speak truth to power. We can't just leave journalists to do that. We need sometimes corporate leaders, business leaders, to put themselves in, metaphorically speaking, in harm's way. And I think that's something that all leaders now need to think about. Have conversations with your boards, have conversations with your executive teams, have conversations with your families about your red lines. What is the point at which I'm prepared to say that is not good enough?
John Flint, thank you very much.
My pleasure.